Hello people, I am Jaby Koay, joined by Natasha Martinez.
Hola.
We're looking at Uber driver and grandmother, stand-up comedy by UROOJ ASHFAQ. So thank you UROOJ ASHFAQ for allowing us to react to this, very, very much appreciated. Very much looking forward to it.
Yep.
And so we have subtitles thanks to Michael Reddy. Thank you, Michael Reddy, for allowing us, for making the subtitles for us.
Thank you. We are indebted to you.
UROOJ ASHFAQ!
Like stop. Okay,
Yeah.
I'm done.
Good for you. I stay far away, okay? I stay in Navi Mumbai. Yup. Takes me 2 hours to go home and come from home. So I'm always thinking about going back home. Like I'm here right now physically, but mentally I'm in bus number 105. And I'm hoping I get a window seat. But when it's late at night, I have to call a Uber, okay? And the thing is, no one wants to go to Navi Mumbai, including myself if I had a choice. So I have to call the Uber driver and I have to confess कि भैया नवी मुंबई जाना है. And then he will decide कि हम जाएंगे कि नहीं. And they always respond in one of two ways, okay? Like the first way is very enthusiastic. It's like, हाँ मैडम जाएगा ना मैडम, of course जाएगा, हमारा तो काम है जाना. And I'm like, sir, you're too enthusiastic. आप मेरा rape करने वाले हो.
Oh God.
And the second way is more like, हाँ मैडम जाएगा ना मैडम, of course जाएगा. And then he hangs up and he cancels the trip. One time I booked a cab, okay, and I said, भैया खारघर जाना है. He said, okay, in a normal pitch. He cut the call. He started the trip without me. I was like, मेरे साथ.
Uber must be different in India.
Yeah.
Assassin, I'm not sending you on a hit job.
He's like, got it, let's go.
Murder करके आओ खारघर में. So one night what happened is I was trying to get home, okay, and 3 times people started the trip without me.
Oh God.
And by the time the 4th guy came, I was in tears. So I sat in his cab and I was like, sir, आपको पता है मेरे साथ क्या हुआ आज? He's like, नहीं बड़ा आप बताने वाले हो. I was like, आपसे पहले 3 लोगों ने मेरे बिना ट्रिप स्टार्ट कर दिया और मेरे 150 रुपए चले गए. And he's like, हाँ मैडम बहुत बुरा हुआ आपके साथ. कुछ ऊपर ड्राइवर ना ऐसे ही करते हैं. इनका कोई ईमान नहीं होता. I was like, he's right. There are bad people everywhere. So मैडम मैं आपसे एक बात पूछ. वो मुस्लिम थे क्या? I was like, did he see my name? The thing is, my name is not obviously Muslim, right? It's not like Zubaida or Fatima or Mughal Azam. If my name was Mughal Azam, he would be like, ma'am, आप prime में जाओ, please. Micro, शर्म आ रही है. But then I thought about it, okay? I have 2 hours to get home. I have 2 options. The first option is I can either be offended and be like, what do you mean Muslim the? How does that matter? And he'll be like, sorry madam, ऐसा कुछ नहीं है, please faster देना, please faster देना. Option is that I can find out for free what Hindus say to each other when they're alone about Muslims. And you know what I'm talking about, you've done it. Muslims also do that shit. So I was like, I think I should just agree with him. I was like, हाँ होंगे, मुसलमान होंगे. I said, मुसलमान, so you trust me? And he opened up. He was like, हाँ मैडम सारे मुस्लिम ऐसे ही होते हैं, सबके सब चोर हैं, 1 नंबर के चोर. I was like, शाहरुख खान भी?
Shah Rukh Khan's
He's like,
one of the
especially
biggest
Shahrukh Khan
stars.
movie में
Oh, wow.
role करता है.
He does the same role.
I was like, that's fair. And he kept going. He was like, चोर है, नॉनवेज खाते हैं, बहनों से शादी करते हैं, नहाते नहीं है. He's like, इसमें से 2 तो मैंने आज ही कर लिए. I had a McChicken for lunch and haven't showered. How did he know? Maybe every stereotype is based in some truth. The point of this was to interrupt him at some point and be like, sir, there are good people and bad people in every religion. India is my country. All Indians are my brothers and sisters. But he didn't stop. He went on for 2 hours. We were in the toll. He gave 30 rupees. He's like, Saleh Musalman.
Oh gosh.
Wow.
Now you're 15 minutes away from my house. And I was like, I have to say something, okay? So I gathered my courage. And I was like, sir! I showed him my Uber app. I was like, तीनों के तीनों, Hindu है, Hindu है, Hindu है. Showed him the names. He's like, हाँ मैडम, ऐसे ड्राइवर्स का ना कोई ईमान नहीं होता है. और वैसे भी Uber app में तो ग्लिच होते ही रहता है. And then I was like, now it's time for the big one. आपको पता है, मैं भी मुस्लिम हूँ? And if there was like space to stand up in the cab, I would have. It was that moment, but I just straightened my spine. And I looked into his rear view mirror. Hello.
She's so cute.
He was like, he felt sorry. He was like, sorry madam, मैंने बहुत ज़्यादा बोल दिया है. You know ऐसा कुछ नहीं, सारे मुस्लिम थोड़ी ना ऐसे होते. Please 5 star देना. So मैडम आपको बुरा तो नहीं लगा ना? ऐसा नहीं, मेरी तो feelings ही नहीं है. It's 25. He's like, मैम कुछ और बात करें? It's like, sure. So आप क्या करते हो as a camera writer? It's like, अच्छा, what's your age? I was like, I'm 23. He's like, आपके पापा क्या करते हैं? I was like, मैं import export का काम करते हैं मेरे पापा. He's like, तो चोर है. I was like, yeah. Basically. But this goes both ways, right? Like the stereotype and the bigotry goes both ways. Like, it's in my house also. My nanny. She's a great nanny, questionable human being. You guys have a nanny? If not a nanny, you have a daddy, right? There's always a spare. My nanny only wants 3 things from me in life, okay? Is to eat on time, to sleep on time, and to not talk to Hindus. And I'm like, Nani, we live in Hindustan. This feels like a pre-partition decision. It's too late for this. But she really feels this way, and she grew up super religious, you know? Genuinely, like when she was younger, her friends were having fun and writing love letters to boys, and she was like ratting on them. She was like, Shagufta love letter likh rahi hai. वो भी हिंदू लड़की को. They're like, how do you know? She's like, left to right likh rahi hai. So
A lot of cultural
and my
jokes.
nanny
Yeah.
is super excited to die.
Oh.
Like she thinks that's where the after party is. She thinks about afterlife and she's like, apna time aayega. The thing is, I'm an atheist, okay? And I don't tell my nanny because I really, really love her, okay? And also, she's really, really rich. So if I play my cards right, apna bhi time aayega. So whenever she comes over, I overcompensate. I'm like, Quran. Yeah, Maulana ji. So मैं दोबारा और नमाज पढ़ लूँ. My nanny's like, Rooj, you are too sexual for religion. Have you considered atheism? My friend was crying in the house, my friend Shagufta. My nanny was like, what happened? And I was like, you know, her boyfriend broke up with her. And she was like, I told you, सारे हिंदू लड़के ऐसे होते हैं. And I was like, he's Muslim. She's like, इनका कोई ईमान नहीं होता.
All right.
Wait, was the good faith in him, is that like one of the phrases that we've been like talking about where they just say
I don't understand what that means, to be honest with you.
Yeah, neither did I.
Yeah, other than that, how did you feel?
Well, like you said, there's a lot of cultural jokes, so I'm not necessarily sure, like, I can't relate. I mean, we can all talk about discrimination. There's discrimination everywhere.
It's everywhere.
And it's such a awkward topic because you're like, even if it's something about like in comedy, when like a comedian is doing stereotypical jokes, there's a fine line. There's when you can go too far and it's offensive, and then there's times when you're like, oh my gosh, that's me. Like there are certain jokes about Latinos that I find hilarious, but that maybe other people who were listening to it that weren't Latino would think, ooh, I'm not supposed to laugh at this. You know what I mean? So it's kind of like awkward, but I love that it's coming from this 23-year-old like petite, cute girl who's just like, this is how it is.
Yeah.
And I try to play both sides just to be like, no, we're all humans. But you know, unfortunately, we go through all the bullshit of prejudice and stereotypes and not accepting one another.
Yeah.
So it was cool to see it from her perspective.
There were definitely some universal ideas here that were interesting and worth talking about, which you latched onto there, the discrimination element. It's just fascinating to me because no matter where you go in the world, people look for a reason to find tension and conflict with other people. Like, for instance, years ago, I was at CVS with Achara. This Armenian boy came up to me. He's like, are you a YouTuber? I'm like, yeah, how'd you know that?
Yeah.
You watch my stuff? But he didn't even know my name. And so it turned out it was his sister who was a fan of mine. And she was like all like gaga, and we took a photo, and I was like, what's your ethnicity? Because she didn't look Indian.
Yeah.
She's Armenian.
Oh.
Come to find out, Armenians love Bollywood. They love Indian cinema. Then later on, come to find out, Azerbaijans love Indian cinema. Azerbaijan and Armenia is right next to each other, and they hate each other. They hate each other. India and Pakistan are connected. You know, they got separated by partition because of the British. They hate each other. And this happens everywhere in the world. The Israeli conflict with Palestine. It's like, you guys are right next to each other. How can you not? You know, and so I guess it's like everyone hates their neighbor for some odd reason, their immediate neighbor. That's the thing that kind of just is fascinating to me, is how we will always look for a reason to be at odds with one another. What's even more curious is, well, we want to know what's going on that side because of this, because we're shut out. There's like this curtain.
Yeah.
And so like her just playing along is cool because it allows you to sort of pull back the curtain and see what people say about you, see what people think, and see what you believe is confirmed on that other side. That's just fascinating to me. That's a move after my own heart, insofar as I would totally do the same thing. Just like play the other side just to see what they say. I've worked in casting for years, and one of the things I love to tell people about is how they will say Asian or ethnically ambiguous in the breakdown, saying we want to have more minorities.
Yeah.
And then invariably by the end of the day, they end up going with a white person. Yeah. Over and over again, right? And it's so bad. There was this one time I was doing, I don't want to say what the brand is, so I was doing a soda callback. And callback, for those of you that don't know, is when they narrow down the actors they've auditioned, and they're trying to narrow it down to who they're actually gonna pick for the role. There are these 3 executives in the room. They're taking care of the ad, and they're dealing with the soda company, and they go, I don't know why we need to have minorities. I'm fine with it being all white people. They literally said that, and I'm in the room.
What?
I'm in the room, less than 10 feet away from them.
About to audition again, right?
No, I was running the audition.
Oh, you were,
Yeah, but nevertheless, like you have a minority, well, I'm half white, right? You have a minority in the room who can hear this conversation.
Wow.
And you're just so brazen about it. That's how deep rooted this bullshit is, that you'd say it while a minority is in the room. Just like, it was almost like that scene in Crash, when Sandra Bullock was talking shit about the guy who was repairing her locks. The Mexican guy. Who was actually, I forgot his name, he's a famous actor. He was in Ant-Man, and anyway, it doesn't matter. He's been around for a while. He's a Scientologist. I like him.
Another fun fact.
Yeah.
That is insane. I mean, and you would think that if you were in that type of situation that you would say something, but when you're in that situation, you're just so shocked.
Yeah.
And like, what?
Yeah.
It's like, what do you even say?
Well, at that instance, I was worried about where my next paycheck was coming from all the time, so I wasn't gonna say anything. I was just gonna take it on the chin because I'm like, I don't wanna lose my job here.
Yeah.
You know, I was freelancing. I'm working from one casting studio to the next. So someone talks shit about, just generally speaking, minorities, I'm gonna just be okay with it because I need to pay my rent, you know?
Ugh, that's such a hard place to be. That is insane. Wow.
Exactly.
What a story.
And by being quiet, I also got to hear what people think and what people say. Oftentimes people get comfortable with me for some reason and I don't know why.
Yeah.
And they'll just start opening up. Like I remember years ago being on the set of That's So Raven. A lot of my audience, I was doing background work a lot, union background work, which was nice because my friend was the director of the show. I get curious and just walk around places. So I walk around and there's this guy who's, I think he was a grip. He was out there just smoking and looking across the street at these Mexicans doing something. I don't know what they were doing. I can't remember if they were being arrested or if they were just hanging out. And he goes, look at them, just acting like they own the place. He was just so mad. And I'm like, I don't know why you opened up to me about it. I could have been Mexican. I'm not, but I could have been Mexican. Yeah. I've been around places and hear that, and I just listen to what people have to say. And it's amazing how much hate there is.
There is so much hate to the point where I'm like, I mean, this isn't about like ethnicity or racism, any of that, but just even like online, like trolling, right? I'm sure you deal with that a lot as well. The amount of measures that someone will take just to tell you that they hate you is insane. Yeah. Like, I'm like, wow, why would somebody go out of their way just to be a horrible person to somebody that they don't even know? Yeah. I don't know if it's just because they don't know you that they then make up things about you, like kind of like, oh, what is it that they're doing like on the other side? Oh, it's probably something stupid and we hate them, you know? Just, unfortunately, that's a part of human nature that is really disgusting and that we need to work on as much as possible. But
the other part that she was talking about was every time she was in the ride with the Uber driver, there's a couple things that she's dealing with. She's a small woman. And so she has to be worried about her life being threatened. Yes. Right?
When she was like, they're too enthusiastic. They're gonna do something. Yeah.
And so that's not something I have to necessarily think about as a dude. I mean, I do still need to think about protecting my person, but not like her. So that's one thing. And the other thing is, oh, please give me a 5-star rating afterwards. It's like, you're so worried about that, yet you're a fucking asshole.
Yeah, like, exactly.
Like, don't be a dick, and maybe you'll get your 5-star rating. Like, just be a good person. What is wrong with just being a good person at the end of the day?
I would have given him 0 stars.
Yeah, but the fact that she had the courage to mention that she was a Muslim is actually commendable, because I don't think I would have said shit. I think I would have just kept it to myself. I'm like, at the end of the day, me saying that is not going to change this person.
Yeah.
That's my opinion. However, there have been instances, because I'm a malleable individual, there have been instances where someone has said something to me and it completely changed me. I think I've said it before, but it's worth mentioning again, because I have very little filter between what happens in my head and what comes out of my mouth, right?
Yeah.
But I've gotten better because I was 18 years old, I was at Trader Joe's, my back was to this sample being given out or something like that, and this woman goes, would you like a sample?
Yeah.
And I turned around, and the woman was like 45. And
Okay.
I go, oh yeah, thank you. When I heard your voice, I thought you were like way younger. I
Oh
said
my
something
God,
like that.
Jaby.
I said something like that. And it was so just casual, but like I didn't mean anything by it.
Yeah.
And she goes, I need to let you know something. I go, what happened? And she goes, you offended me just now. I know you don't know that you did that, but you need to know that you did that.
Oh, wow.
And I was so apologetic that like from that day forward, I always thought about that
Yeah.
and not doing the same thing.
Yeah.
And every time I put my foot in my mouth, I try to catch it as fast as possible and really like drill into my head, what the fuck did you just do? So sometimes it is worth it to say something, but
For sure.
most people won't take to the lesson.
Well, because sometimes it's so far into
Ingrained. Yeah.
it's so much a part of just how they think about everything. That
Right.
it's kind of like, you gotta go way, 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 way deep. And some interaction for a quick Uber ride. Well, hers wasn't quick in her situation. But if it was just like a quick Uber ride, it's like, I'm not gonna, fix Rome in a day or whatever the
Right.
saying is.
Yeah.
Because it's just that deep. It's history, it's culture. Unfortunately, yeah, it's like just one saying probably won't. But that's cool. I like that you think about her now and you're
Yeah.
like, okay, let me not offend anybody.
Yeah. Well, a lot of the comedy was sort of lost on us. I think that there are interesting topics that this inspired in terms
For
of,
sure.
in terms of conversation. So.
Definitely.
So thank you again to UROOJ, ASHFAQ for allowing us to react to this. I know that we didn't get all the jokes, but we tried.
And we still liked it.
We still liked it. We still got an interesting conversation out of it. So
Yep.
thanks so much for hanging out. Check out Natasha Martinez on the social media. Subscribe if you haven't already. Hit that bell icon, all notifications, please. Check out other reactions, reviews, short films, and vlogs. I am Jaby Koay. This is
Natasha Martinez.
Peace out.